Well, the last few days I've watched several videos by several different creators, all about the same thing, drying firewood. And I can tell you that drying firewood has a lot of misinformation on the internet. A lot of videos, they have half-truths. I don't want to call them lies. People think they know what they're talking about, but they don't. I've done a lot of research on the topic. I've been cutting, splitting, stacking, and burning wood for many years. And certain things that some people say are just misleading. Misleading is a good word. When it comes to drying wood, a lot of misleading information out there. I think lies a little bit strong for most of them. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt that they think they know what they're talking about. And they're not all completely wrong. It's wrong about certain things. And so I want to tackle a few of those topics, because drying firewood is actually pretty simple. Now people say, oh, I have a faster way of drying firewood. I haven't seen one yet. Well, I did see, well, two technically. One, buy a kiln, a few $1,000s. That'll dry it faster. Kind of defeats the purpose of burning firewood, which is usually to have better heat and save a little bit of money. You're not going to save a lot of money. You got to buy a log splitter, you got to buy chainsaws, you got to buy gas, oil, maintenance on the chainsaws, occasionally replace the chainsaw. You got to buy a wood burner, you got to buy the stove, you got to buy the pipe. You can see there I've got a nice big stack of pipe up here. That stuff's not cheap. But there's several things about drying firewood that need to be discussed. Number one, if you're buying firewood and it looks like this, it's not dry. Dry firewood does not look pretty like this. Dry firewood, what does it look like? Well, looks like that. It's gray. It's ugly. The bark's falling off of it. If it's not gray, ugly, and has the bark falling off of it, it's probably not dry enough to burn. Some people think, a lot of people think, oh, well, it was standing dead for 3 years. It's nice and dry. No, it's not. I have wood right over here. I have wood right here behind me, most of which was standing dead. A lot of the bark was missing. It had been standing there a couple of years. I split it, 25, 28, 30% inside. It's not ready to burn. They say 20 is the threshold. It needs to be under 20. I would say under 15 if you want to be really safe from having a large creosote buildup. Unless you burn a blasting hot fire all the time, which is going to go through an awful lot of wood. So what are we going to do today? Well, I am going to take and get into this stack right here, lift that plastic up, and get a couple pieces of wood out. I'm going to get a piece that's from the lightning tree, which if you look at my videos, you'll see we cut that down. It got struck by lightning in May of 2022. We cut it down in the winter of 2023, like January, February, and I split it and stacked it before March of January 2023. I did not have a moisture meter when I first cut it down and split it. So I don't know exactly what the moisture was on it, but it had only been standing dead since May. You do the math. Standing dead for 6 or 8 months, cut it down, split it, stacked it. I took some in to burn a couple weeks ago, tested it with the moisture meter. It was 12 and 13% in the middle. I took a big chunk, one of the biggest chunks I had, split it in two and tested it in the middle. It was 12, 13%. Now, mind you, it was only stacked somewhere in February till somewhere in the beginning of December. What is that? February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 9 months. 9 months it had been split and stacked. Let's say 10 even. And it was down to 12 and 13% inside. And that was a nice thick piece. It was probably 2.5, 3 inches thick on the skinny side, which is bigger than it should have been, really. I mean, if you look at my stack back here, I'll bring you over here and show you. Look at the thicknesses on these. Look at the thicknesses on these. Now, yeah, some of these are big clunkers up on the top, but look down there on the bottom where I could split them any size I want. no more than 2.5 inches the thickest way. Now, the other way might be wider, it might be 4 inches, but at least one direction, I keep it down 2.5 at the most. That way it will dry. Why? Because oak generally dries 1 inch to 1.5 inches a year, depending on the weather. And you'll see here that my wood pile here and these wood piles behind me, I didn't put the plastic on them until this fall when the cooler season comes. Because when they get wet after they've already dried and it starts to get cooler, they'll get wet and stay wet. You don't want that. But when they're new, you want to leave them open to the elements. That sun really helps dry them out faster. But now I'm going to take 2 pieces of wood out of here. One from the lightning tree, which was struck by lightning, stood all summer dead, got cut down that winter, and then got stacked and split and stacked, and sat all summer split and stacked. The other one, though, it was a blackjack oak, and it was green when I cut it last winter. I cut it and split it and stacked it before the end of February, green. I did have a moisture meter then. I tested it. It was 35 to 40% moisture. Some of it was even up close to 50% moisture. Very wet wood. Let's see what it turned out to be after it was split and stacked and sat here all summer. And then we'll talk about it a little bit more. Okay, now pardon me for filming with my left hand, but I need my right hand to do this. Now, first of all, you'll notice I have it set for hardwood. These have different settings. This has mode. It has hardwood, packing material, building material, softwood, which would be things like pine, and hardwood. If you use the wrong setting, you're going to get the wrong measurement. This is oak, which is a hardwood. The one on the left here is the lightning tree, white oak, that stood dead from May until January, then got cut up and split and stacked by the end of February. This was live green, also a kind of white oak called blackjack oak. It was very wet. Upper 30s to upper 40s, depending on the piece that I used. Now, I just got done splitting these. This is the split side up now. So we're getting the center of the piece that we're measuring. This is the lightning tree, center of the tree. You're looking at it, 12%. I'll move a little bit. 12%. Now, this one's going to be a little more difficult maybe. This one started out, like I said, around 35 to 45, almost 50% in some places. This is the thickest piece I could find. It just broke a chunk off here, about 1.5 inches thick. But this is down in the center. It's got a knot. Let's see what it measures out to be after it sat all summer out here. Look at that, 14.5%. So, what does that tell us? What does that tell us? Let's talk about it. So what does that tell us? Now, what it tells us is that my wood at my house, even though it was green as a gourd and soaking wet, 35, I had some pieces measured out 47% moisture on that blackjack oak. That was 9 months ago. It was split and stacked, and it got down to 14%. The white oak stood dead for 6 months, 8 months. Then I did it. So, what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that here, where I live, in the Ozarks of Arkansas, near Mountain View, we have hot summers, long summers. It dried completely in less than a year. Which the funny part is, I have in this pile right over here, pine, which is supposed to dry quicker, did not. It was still 20%. Now, mind you, pine starts out around 60, so had a ways to go. Pine's supposed to dry quicker, but it didn't. So what are we learning from this? That wood in my area, split to the proper dimensions, which is less than 2.5 inches, at least one direction, will dry down to between 11 and 15% in one season, if you do it right. Those thicker pieces that you see over here, like I was showing you, some of these clunkers that we have up here in the top, like you can see how thick that is. That's about 4 inches this way, 5.5 inches this way. That will probably not be 11 or 12% by next year. Now, mind you, it's got a few extra months because this is only 2 days before Christmas right now in 2023, and I'll be burning this next year. So it might get down 15%, but I almost guarantee you it will be below 20 burnable. I prefer below 15. And we have several pieces up here that are like that, like this guy here. Splitting that smaller, maybe. This guy here, he's kind of short. But you get some of these clunkers here that are just twisted and knotty. What are you going to do? You don't have a choice. But wood will, if you split it properly and stack it properly, it will dry down to 15 or less in a season here. I saw a guy earlier, he had some wood that he tested that he claimed had been split and stacked for 19 months. And he said it was red oak. And it was still in the mid-20s, 25%. I don't know where he lives, but it must be a place where it never dries out, never warms up. Northeast maybe, Maine, New Hampshire, I don't know. But wow, I was surprised. So anyway, I just wanted to put a few things to rest. Wood can and will dry in a season if it's split and stacked properly. And when the summer season is over and you start getting into the cooler, wetter season in the fall, you definitely want to cover it. And I'll tell you why. Even with oak. If you look at this piece of oak, like this piece right here. Right here. You've got this inner part that is solid wood. But this outer part, it's softer. And after it gets dry, it gets like a sponge. And it will absorb a lot of moisture if you don't cover it. And if it's cool weather, it will not dry out in any kind of a reasonable amount of time. And you can kind of see that here. See how it's growing the fungus on it? Because it stays wetter longer. And it's been covered for a while. If you look down there, you get some other pieces like this one here has got fungus. Over here you got a few that's got fungus. This has only been covered for about a month and a half now. And that's because it's a cool season. During the warm season, it might get rained on, but it'll dry back out if it's not covered. But once you get into the fall season, the second year when you're planning on burning it, you might want to cover it. So this hopefully puts to rest a little bit of the misinformation out there anyway. You split it and stack it properly, it will dry in a season. Less than a year even. But a lot of people don't want to take the time to split wood that small. They want to split it into 4 and 5 inch chunks. No, that's probably not going to dry in a season. Oak dries at a rate of 1 inch to 1.5 inches a year under optimal conditions where you have a nice long hot summer like we have here. Farther north you go, the longer that's going to take. So I thank everybody for watching. Please share, please subscribe. We really appreciate everything. Thank you again. Okay. I had a few other ideas, things I wanted to talk about that I didn't mention yesterday, or I might have gone on too long about. I talked about this wood getting wet. Well, we got about 2 inches of rain, and you can really see the difference now between how wet this is and how dry that is. Wet, dry. This wood won't soak up moisture. This will. But when this gets wet and stays wet, this can't dry out nearly as fast. So keeping it dry is a priority. Now, I said there were 2 ways that you could dry wood faster. I was wrong. 3. Number 1, buy a kiln. Too expensive, not worth the time and trouble. You know, unless you're doing board wood, which that's a different story entirely. Number 2, and I read about this once, and it makes perfect sense. They put a long pile like this, They covered the whole pile with black plastic all the way down, and then they put a fan on one end sucking the air out so that it drew air in everywhere else, had a constant flow of air, a gentle, slow flow, and then the plastic in the sunlight would create heat. So it's sort of a makeshift kiln. It won't get that hot, and the air's not moving that fast, but it would probably shave a month or two off of the drying time. But the one way I know that definitely dries wood faster is woodshed. You want to have the walls have slats like your fingers where the air can get in between and blow through, but you want a good roof to keep that wood dry. The combination of being dry, being kept dry, and having good airflow, and have the front side, make it like a lean-to and have the front side face the south so that it gets as much sun as possible for heat. That's going to be the best way to dry your wood. It's going to be the best way to store your wood. It's a little expensive too, but not as much as a kiln. And you can dry several cords at a time in a woodshed. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build it over here as soon as I burn all that wood this winter. That's where the woodshed's going to go. I'm thinking 24 feet long, 8 feet front to back. It may change a little bit, but it's going to be roughly that size. And it's going to be roughly over there. So that was something I wanted to add because I remembered I said there was two things. I never even mentioned the second one. And I got to thinking about it. There is that other option with the plastic and the fan. I'm pretty sure that would actually work like a makeshift kiln. So you could do that if you wanted to. Oh, Rascal's over there. This is his favorite place to play, out in the woodpile. See? Over there scratching, sharpening his claws for whatever purpose.